And I humbly beseech you all, by the mercies of God, as we always say, that we have a world to shake. We have a continent, that is Africa, to liberate. We have a nation, Ghana, to save. And then we have the church also to reform. 28 August 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. stood in front of the Lincoln Pavilion, speaking to several crowds of people, between 5,000 people. And then he gave the famous, "I have a dream." Joseph had a dream, and then what he saw was his brethren and then even his parents bowing to him. And then the nation or this world have been shaped by dreamers. And then also, as I said, Martin Luther King also had a dream, and in his dream, in his narrative, he said one of the things was that his 4 little children will be defined not by the color of their skin, but rather by the content of their character. And then he made mention of a number of stars. Things might have progressed, but we can still say that still the black man is only tolerated but not respected everywhere in the world. And we want to step up. So this is a poem. I don't know if it will even qualify as a poem, but I wrote it in 2 days. And because of that, we have it at the introduction of each of the volumes. I'll just quickly read it and then I take my seat. So reflecting, I think the whole burden of what I carry, or Project M or New African Concept we carry, is couched in this narrative. And then I beseech that we listen to it as we end. So, Africa, 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 how hast thou fallen and made thy inhabitants wail in pain? Africa, the cradle of the world and the mother of civilizations, why have you now taken a back seat in the league of global relevance? Africa, why is your continent full of inexplicable paradoxes? Some way, somehow, you are home to more than 45% of the world's natural resources, yet you are the poorest continent. Your sons and daughters are the most religious people on earth, yet we are full of corruption, greed, hatred for each other, and wickedness. How possible that individual blacks can be successful in their various fields of endeavor, yet a community of blacks can hardly progress? And it is sad to know that there is hardly to find that there are no true successful black nations. This phenomenon brings tears to my eyes. But alas, all hope is not yet lost, for I comfort myself in the light of the ray of hope that I see amidst the veil of darkness that surrounds us in Africa, a ray of hope. Indeed, I have a dream. Hallelujah. I have a dream that the budget of African countries will one day be complete without the need for foreign aid, grants and loans, that she will assume a level of self-reliance and become a vessel to support economically challenged nations and continents, that there shall be no poor nation amongst us in Africa. I have a dream that no more will the black man be bewitched with identity crisis, that we will rediscover the true African identity amidst the modernization and dynamism of civilization, that the African dream will be earnestly pursued by all, and that it shall become a badge of dignity, pride and honor to be called a Ghanaian, and for that matter, an African. I have a dream that African leaders will not become mere puppets and pawns in the hands of the Western powers and the Eastern tigers, but shall have a badge of dignity and global relevance, that our leaders will not fall victim to the schemes of neocolonialism, but shall become a beacon of hope to the youth and the unborn generation. Indeed, I have a dream today. I have a dream that Africa will desist from the simplistic blame game of always blaming the white man and others for their woes, and rather set up and take up responsibility for changing our destinies, that a new sense of nationalism and patriotic awakening shall blaze the hearts and minds of the youth of Africa. I have a dream that no more will Africa become synonymous to the word ignorance. No more. The saying that if you want to hide something from the black man, put it in the book, shall become a cliche. A new Africa I see, where her people shall be given to much reading and enlightenment. I have a dream that education in Africa no more will be inclined toward the mere acquisition of certificates to go and scout for a job which is not even there, but that education shall be a commitment to lifelong learning in order to solve the problems of the society and make relevant impact, living a life of significance and not a life of survival. I see a new Africa, an Africa where our politicians shall be intellectually and morally strong, and above all be service oriented. Servant leadership shall become the definition of political leadership. No more will the political arena become a den for hungry, selfish and greedy misleaders pursuing positions for their parochial aggrandizement at the expense of the masses. That our leaders will focus on sacrificing themselves for the common good of the average citizenry. Indeed, I have a dream today. I have a dream that electorates shall no more vote along merely partisan, religious and tribal lines, but rather be given to policies and capacity of the leaders to execute with precision for the common good of the people. That democracy will not only be defined on having peaceful elections, but that every citizen shall arise and be involved in the daily machinery of governance after the elections. I have a dream that Africa shall be free from the eternal bonds of nepotism, kleptocracy and corruption, and rather become a people given to meritocracy and an egalitarian society. I have a dream that marriages and parenting shall take on a new dimension of emphasis, that marriage and funeral ceremonies will be free from the wastage and overstretched decorum, with a touch of simplicity and focus on the true essentials. Parenting will no more be assessed by parents' ability to pay school fees and take care of one's wards, but that the holistic growth and assessment of the children will be the focus. I have a dream that Africa will not become a dumping site for archaic and used philosophies, formulas and ideologies, and always waiting on the consumption end and not on the creative and productive end of the spectrum. I see a new wave of creativity, innovation and invention soon to hit the shores of Africa. Herein lies the true liberation of Africa. I have a dream that Africa shall be liberated from religious extremities, religious tensions, and above all from all kinds of spurious superstitions. That true spirituality and a connect to God shall become the prime focus and not cyclical religious ceremonies, some of which even choke the organic life of thinking and pure reason. I have a dream that the less privileged in the society will not become accursed and resigned to fate, struggling unnecessarily to make ends meet, but that a proper system shall be in place to help or to succor them. I have a dream that Africa no more shall become a cemetery wherein great potentials and gifts are simply buried and crushed to the very core. The challenge of unemployment shall be a thing of the past. No more shall the African youth take the risk of crossing the deserts of Libya and the Sahel or Sahara through the Mediterranean Sea to Italy and Spain, all in the name of pursuing or seeking greener pastures. I have a dream that the face of the African child and black communities no more shall be on magazines and new files as the emblematic symbol of filth, pain, hunger, poverty, poor health care, bad roads, road accidents, and many such negative tags. These too shall become a thing of the past. I say it shall be a pride and honor to be identified as an African. I have a dream today that Africa shall outgrow her poor prevailing value system, lack of respect for time and human life and all that. Africa shall be inoculated with new dimensions of quality value systems that shall catapult her from her present state of irrelevance to a place of global significance and heights. Above all, I have a dream that the church shall no longer become a derision and a laughing stock, but that she will arise and live up to the demands of her original mandate. That the church shall take a front seat in championing societal reforms, and that the products of the church will be deployed to become the choicest crop of people to every nation in Africa, a double blessing to the nations of Africa. I have a dream that though Africa was projected in 1917 to be the continent of the future, But by the time we caught 2001, we had Tony Blair saying that Africa is the scar on the conscience of the world. Definitely, Africa will become the hope rather of the world. I have a dream today that sooner than later, Africa shall no more export mere raw materials, but we shall become exporters of change. There is already a wave blowing, a wave of change blowing across the nations of Africa, especially amongst them. The dew of a holistic transformation of the various nations of Africa is already soaking in the hearts of many blacks, both on the continent and in the diaspora. Sooner than later, these little sparks of burden shall become a mighty bonfire or conflagration, and a new history shall be written for Africa. And so shall it be. For this dream is on its way to become a reality. Africa, your name shall indeed be great. So I ask this question in conclusion, that where are the lions of Africa? Let them arise and roar to make this dream a reality. For indeed it is possible together. I have a dream indeed. I see Africa. Long live Africa. Long live Ghana. Long live Project M. Long live the New African Concept. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you very much.